Hey, what's going on? I have never really made a video, or at least a video doing commentary on this channel, so, take my opinion with a grain of salt, though it's probably a rather ubiquitous opinion, probably something that most people agree with, and I'm filming this on this map, or not map, on this PC version, so that you can see what I think a lot of people were hoping Grand Theft Auto 5 expanded and enhanced maybe would have looked like. These are all real advertisements, so ignore that, but maybe brighter textures, maybe higher quality, things like clouds and lighting and all of that. But what we saw with the Grand Theft Auto 5 expanded and enhanced trailer was truly awful, and I'm not one to bash game developers. I have no idea what it takes to go into that. I have no idea, how much work. Obviously, I know it's a lot, but I don't know how difficult it must be to create a game that a lot of people would consider a masterpiece like Grand Theft Auto 5. It's just the fact that if people are willing to buy the game again, there was a comment I read that was so perfect. It said Grand Theft Auto or Rockstar is becoming the exact same people that they used to make fun of. Like, they're basically a satirical version of the company now. And you have to wonder, really, how hard would it have been to create something like this for the newer consoles that are coming out? I mean, if you're paying how much? If you go on eBay, I don't know how much an Xbox is or a PlayStation. What are they? Maybe a $600, $700, $800. We're paying another $70 for the game. The money was never an issue. It's just like, well, you just got to deliver an appropriate product. And this almost kind of crushes my hopes for the future of Grand Theft Auto, because now that we have the microtransactions online, which we've had forever, I do wonder if the future of Grand Theft Auto, not just expanded and enhanced, will be solely based off of microtransactions. You're probably saying, of course it will be, but I mean to the point where everything else is lacking, where we get a blank canvas of a game and we just have to buy our way through. Another thing as well with GTA 5 expanded and enhanced, as pathetic as this may sound, is that there was a part of me that if we couldn't get GTA 5, if you didn't have the newest console, it would be worth it, because in a sense it would kind of feel like maybe you're reliving a little bit of your youthfulness. Or if not that, if you're somebody that never even got the chance to get Grand Theft Auto when it came out, because you got to remember it came out in 2013, and so many years later. Why are you texting me, you freak? Maybe you're somebody that could actually sort of experience it for the first time. So some of us would get that nostalgia, and others would kind of experience this. It would be kind of like your first go-around, the hype all over again. And it really is disappointing. I see this all the time too. I love cars. And even though I can't afford the new Corvette, the new Ferraris, the new this or that, when I hear that the new cars are coming out, it's like, oh, they have a twin-turbo 6-cylinder. They don't have a V8 anymore. I can't even afford the damn thing, and I get disappointed. It just seems like the world is changing in a way where we're being more, how do you put it? We're fostering this preemptive disappointment in ourselves, where no one really expects it to be anything groundbreaking. Nobody really expects the game to be functional. Nobody really expects for it to work right out of the box and get your money's worth. And this was something that I thought really could have been, and I'm saying this lightly, relatively easy to deliver. The same game, but a little bit more modernized. Like, again, I speak about cars a lot, but the Lamborghini Countach, they just came out with that again, and everybody's disappointed. Well, a lot of people are disappointed because it's an extremely expensive car, and I've heard that it's kind of just like an Aventador with a body kit, and it's severely understated. It doesn't have that wild, crazy styling that the original Countach did when it initially came out. And yeah, it's just sad. I think that these companies don't get that the nostalgia that we like is really a big percentage of why we're buying the game. And really all you have to do is put in that little extra percentile that will be like, okay, you know what? The nostalgia is basically doing most of the work here. All you need to do now is make this thing look like it came out in at least maybe 2019. And it didn't happen. That's really what I'm most beat up over. I don't have a lot to look forward to with gaming, you know, the chip shortages and all the stuff that's happening. I don't think that a lot of things are going as planned in the world. There's just shortages with everything, and everything's really overpriced now, and things are hard to acquire. And this was something that you thought it should have been an easy solution. Make the game look good. Maybe some new DLC. You know, maybe we could fly to Cayo. How do you say it? Cayo Perico. I know I'm butchering the pronunciation. Stuff like that. Maybe something even crazier, like you could get on a plane and fly to Yankton, and other people could meet you there up at North Yankton. And of course, none of this stuff just happens. It doesn't happen, and I wonder if they take us as fools, Rockstar. You know, that's another thing, is you have to wonder the way you're perceived. I'm not upset over it. It's just confusing. You have to ask yourself, why? It's actually so bad that it's comical. That you're wondering, you know, we've been buying this game since Xbox 360, since the PS3. You clearly have a loyal fan base behind you, and they just re-release it with no upgrades. Nobody was telling them to rework the physics engine, for God's sakes. But look how they made Red Dead Redemption 2 appear. I don't understand the complexities of the game engine. I believe that they're both made with Rage, and I surely don't understand how simple it is to achieve that type of visual imagery in a game. You know, you can't. I don't think you can just port it over. But to say this was the bare minimum isn't really even being truthful. It's beneath the bare minimum. Just look at the game now. Can you imagine playing on the new Xbox or the new PlayStation and having your online experience look like this? Of course, most people would just be, I think they'd really be blown away. I'll show you something too. You guys have probably seen stuff like this before. It's really nothing that crazy. But take, for example, this little Banshee over here, which I think everybody loves. Look how much better it looks. Now, of course, I'm using ENB. My point is that I don't think it would take that much, especially with the minds behind Rockstar, to modernize a game. We have videos of people walking around online just showing off the graphics of Grand Theft Auto. We have people that walk around and just record how good the game looks with what these modders have done. And a lot of console players have no idea what that's like. They can watch it on YouTube, but they've never experienced it. I believe that if they did something that was even maybe 50% like this, but it is Rockstar, so I have to assume that they'd be able to come to a more efficient conclusion, maybe without suffering so much frame rate loss, that the copies would just fly off the shelf. And not even that, it's this timeline of the investment, that if people were playing a game that looked like this, you just bought yourself another couple of years. I think the complaints of, oh, you know, you're milking us with microtransactions would die down significantly, because just the pure aesthetic value of Grand Theft Auto would kind of give it new life. Look at this. Look at the distance in the helicopters. To me, this looks relatively real. And it's also, sorry, I'm stuttering because I can't really hear myself because I have the headphones on. Look how good, look how good the Infernus looks. If console players, I'm making them sound like Neanderthals that, you know, they haven't picked up a console since the N64, but this really is a wildly different experience. If they were to log on to Grand Theft Auto Online and see this, I honestly think that that dream of when is Grand Theft Auto coming out would momentarily extinguish because they would be so astonished with what they're looking at now. I don't know, I compare it to cars so much because there's so many classic cars out there that they already have the groundwork put in. They already have the nostalgia put in. And to re-release them shouldn't be that difficult because the car is so adored before, like the Honda S2000, or I think they're coming out with the new Acura Integra Type R. A good example of a car that bombed, even though the car is amazing, is the, what is it? The Acura NSX. That no one really hears about. You don't really hear too much spoken about it, but the original versions of them that came out in the 90s and I think early 2000s are like the GOAT of all Japanese JDM vehicles, but the new one, people are saying, it kind of took too long, it's sort of overpriced, it's unattainable, it's not really that striking in appearance, and so on and so forth. Nostalgia counts for so much, and yeah, this is just kind of a rant. I don't do this stuff, I don't have a script. It's off the top of my head. Even walking around as well, let's just remove, for example, these real-life references, the real-life stores like Foot Locker. I believe there's a Porsche, not I believe, but there is a Porsche building up here. Maybe it's across the way. None of the people have changed. Okay, so I don't think that with these mods, I think it kind of caps out at the graphic enhancements. So the NPC behavior, the traffic behavior, I think that is still relatively rooted in 2013. It's nothing new, but because the game looks so stunning, it feels like it's come to life all over again. You look past whether or not the animations look perfect or whether or not the population density is all there. All of that stuff. What the hell is that? Is that a wheel? Okay, I don't know why that's there, but you kind of look past all this stuff, which gives more credence to my point that to bring this game back to life, I really don't think would have been that hard. So, you know, this is just a rant. I probably don't intend on doing one of these again. Most of you are saying, thank God. But, yeah, I'll show you one more area in the game that I personally love going to. That I always thought looked pretty damn good. Where are we at here? Yeah, it's the neighborhoods. To me, these neighborhoods really... I'm always amazed by the little nuance that, you know, the nuances that they have here. The people parked outside, smoking, and of course you can see this looks pretty damn lifelike. Can we... Overcast looks great as well. You know, Overcast will just do that for an example. Of course, the one time I pick, no one's out here, but you always see the little, yeah, like here, the guy working in the lawn, the garage that's ajar with some things that you can barely see inside of. The game is alive as it is. It just needed a little rejuvenation. There's my lawnmower. I don't know why. That always seems so funny to me. Yeah, it just needed a little rejuvenation. And they didn't do it. It's very sad. It makes you question. You can look past GTA 5 Expanded and Enhanced. A lot of people kind of just cross that off the list. It makes you wonder what's to come with Grand Theft Auto 5. I could be totally wrong. Of course, you're saying to yourself, well, maybe they didn't put a lot of time in the GTA 5 Expanded and Enhanced because they're putting so much time into GTA 6, but again, when you've become accustomed to being disappointed, you don't really believe that. Can I push you into the pool? I can't. So you kind of just, okay, yeah, this is showing its age a little bit, but it still looks pretty good. Anyway, guys, I hope some of you have enjoyed this video, and I don't know if I'll see you next time. I don't know.